Here I've just introduced one of the mints, and mints in a garden are wild and they're a problem. But out in a wild area, they actually don't naturalize that well. But I have some here. Hidden here for 15 or 20 years is a grass tree. They do grow slowly. Most people will buy them stolen from the bush somewhere. I think these days there's a law, they have to come tagged. That is, that part of the bush had to be destroyed for something, and so someone goes in and digs them up because they know they're worth some money. They're very pretty when they have a trunk like that and the grass is up here.
What's that pine?
That pine is a mountain weeping pine from Mexico, one of the most beautiful pines in the world. That's Pinus patula, or patula. I also have Pinus Montezuma here and Pinus Michoacan, both from Mexico. But I don't have particularly good specimens. I have too many things and they're too crowded. An evergreen dogwood, the only evergreen dogwood. There are many dogwoods, that's genus Cornus. This one is also deciduous, where it comes from, which is North India in the Himalayas. It gets really cold there. But in England and Australia, it's evergreen. It's just flowering now. The fruit is edible, mildly bitter, eaten in India. And next to it, not looking anything wonderful at the moment, but a Chinese tupelo. Flame reds in autumn. And what else? Bamboo, and a fairly large one that most people would never put in the ground. Bamboo scares lots of people. Some of the bamboo I have here is 30 feet now and 2 inches in diameter, and this species will get larger. And just on the right, I mentioned a Chimonanthus earlier that does not have fragrance and will not probably sell in the horticultural trade. Here is the other non-scented Chimonanthus, also from Southeast Asia. Still, it is beautiful, and it has some scent in its roots. Not that that's of any value for most people, but there are herbalists who, and I'm sure in China that's used for some things. Overlooked here for years, it's picking up a little. A golden currant, not flowering at the moment, but it has lovely little golden tubes, and it can be eaten. It hasn't borne fruit here. It's been here for 15 years. I just don't have time to cultivate and care for things enough, or I haven't found the right spaces. But I got one of these from a bush that was looking good elsewhere. I think it's the golden buffalo currant of North America. It has a small edible fruit. I don't think it's common even in America anymore. A variegated plane tree maple from Europe. The variegations, of course, very, very pretty. And a weeping yew from England. The yew is fairly rare here, and the weeping yew is rarer still, although I've made some myself. Ancient, it's worshipped, it's sacred. All parts of this plant are poisonous, with the exception of the flesh of the fruit, which is red, about that size. It has a seed inside, which is also poisonous. Its genus is Taxus, and it contains chemicals that no other plant has. They're called taxines, and they have been extracted now for about the last 40 years to use in anti-cancer drugs for part of chemotherapy. But they've also been used to kill people, and the English would use them to make bows with which you can shoot an arrow up to 2,000 meters if you have an arm strong enough to pull it. At short range, it'll go through armor. A purple smoke bush, I think from Europe originally. The common one is green, the purple one is purple and very pretty. A Mexican arbutus. The common arbutus, the Irish strawberry tree, bears small red strawberry-like fruits. This one does as well. Not so well here. This one's quite rare. It has some lovely peeling bark during part of the year. Just tucked in here, not enough room for it really. We just don't know who's going to live here and who isn't. Is a cow-eye or cow-fi from New Zealand, which I think is the New Zealand state tree. It has chains of beautiful yellow pea flowers earlier in season, and a favorite of the wattlebirds. This one is a rare evergreen oak from Japan, coastal, weeping. The mother of this one is from Melbourne Botanic Gardens. I picked up some acorns once. This one's not doing very well in this position. I may have to move her. It's a lion's ear from Africa. There is one up near the shop, and there's another one on the property as well. A seedling magnolia, but of no importance. A holly or holm oak from Europe, used for shipbuilding, heavy buildings, fortifications in the old days when people fought one another with siege weapons. A Mexican evergreen oak, and these evergreens are here because I'm pointing at the south, and our prevailing winds are southwest and south and southeast, and they're all strong and they're all cold, and no light ever comes from that direction. The sun is up that way now, and soon it will be going that way. So here, these are to protect this property from cold winds and from noise, for there's a road just here and a road just there. You've seen it elsewhere, but that's another Japanese anise bush. And a Judas bush from the Mediterranean. It's one of the 5 trees that Judas is reputed to possibly have hung himself from. A mountain lomatia from right here. The mother tree is 1 kilometer to the south, and it was saved by the Jones family, an old grandfather, when he cleared his farm. His granddaughter, Norma Jones, who's gone now but was a friend, she said her grandfather saved one of these, and it's still here 1 kilometer away, and if it was growing there, it was growing here in the old forests. And for those who are here today filming, you should get your nose on a few open flowers because it's beautifully, sweetly scented. And this is what this region, Warrigal, smelled like at this time of year, every year, for thousands of years. To find it now, you have to go up in the forests north of the city. But it's lovely and scented. Another redwood. Because I'm trying to save them, I'm taking pieces from some of the old great redwoods on old farms and putting them in here. Hopefully we'll save their genes.